Welcome back to another edition of Fly Time with Jim Misiura. Today I'm going to tie a pattern designed or modeled after Dave Whitlock's red fox squirrel pattern. I don't have red fox squirrel, I have a red squirrel skin, so that's what I'm going to use. The hook that I have in the vise, this is a size 12, and it is a 3 extra long shank. I'm not going to put any beads on it. I'm going to use weight, and I'm going to use 15 thousandths lead wire or lead free wire. And I'm going to I'm going to cover just about the whole shank. I'm going to stop maybe an eye length to eye length and a half from the eye. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to double it right on top just to help build up the thorax there. And then we can break that off. This is actually lead. In my state, Pennsylvania, they don't have any problem with lead. But you can use the lead free. You just want to be safe. And here we have our weighted, and you can see we got double there, so that's going to help with the thorax portion. And we're just going to use black thread. I'm going to use an 8/0 thread. Black. We're going to start that behind the eye. And when you reach the lead, you want to hold it because the thread will push it to the back. So you hold lead just to get it started. When we get to the back, we can actually push it forward just in case it moved a little. Go ahead and break off that excess. Now for the rib, the original used a oval gold tinsel, and I don't have any gold oval tinsel. What I do have is this is the wire from the craft store, and this is a medium size wire. I have the larger ones too, but I'm going to use this. I'm going to take this and I'm going to leave that tag go up to my thorax, and we're going to wrap this in. This wire is a little heavy, so you have to really wrap this in there tight. If you don't, when you go to wrap it, it's going to twist the fly. Wrap that in there pretty tight, and we still got a little bit of the, here is where it's at. We still got a bigger thorax there. So I'm leaving it on the spool, but you can always cut some off if you'd like. Now for the tail, what we're going to do is here's the red fox skin, and we're going to use the guard hairs off the back for the tail. So I'm just going to grab myself a bunch of the guard hairs and here we have them. I'm going to pull some of the long ones out and pull a little bit of that fluff off the back. There we go, and we're going to put the tail in there, and we want the tail to be maybe about half the length of the body. Dave tied these originally, and he tied them pretty big because the book that I'm looking at actually says a size 2, hook size 2 down to size 18, 3 extra longs. So a size 2, 3 extra long is a pretty big nymph. So there we have our tail. Now I'm going to put this upside down so I can dub. And for the abdomen, he wants the fox squirrel belly. And the squirrel belly is the lighter color. You can see the lighter color on the edges here. from the squirrel belly. And if I show you, here's where I've been taken out of the back. You can see that it's more gray there. You want the light color on from the belly section, which is actually off the edges of this skinned squirrel. And we're just going to take them, we just mix them up just a little bit. We're going to take that and dub that on. You can see that nice lighter color there. I'm going to make sure I got a lot of light color, especially towards the rear, because I do have a little bit of darker color in this. And you want to leave those, whatever guard hairs you might get out of the belly, leave them in. And one more last little pinch there, and this is the darker, little bit darker fur right there. Can't really see it on the camera, but we're going to go ahead and wind this on. There we go, get away from that hook point. And we'll bring that up to our thorax. Now we're going to take our rib and we're going to wind this. And like I said, you got to be careful because you can twist that. You can twist that fly with this heavier wire. I'm going to go ahead and just rotate my and bring that to the top. Tie that off. I'm going to take my nail clippers and trim that. Trim that nice and close. And you can see there's nothing wrong with the nail clippers. So I do have that little piece there. I'm just going to use my thumbnail and fold that down. Now for the wing case, what he used was a pearlescent tinsel. This is a number 12 pearl tinsel. So we're going to take a small piece of this. So I have the pearl tinsel. I'm going to fold it over. And I'm going to lay them in side by side so that it's a little bit wider. Get them right on top. I'm going to tie those down. Got a little piece there I want to trim off. And we'll secure that. We got them in there. Now what we're going to do is just make a short stubby section here. Maybe a quarter of an inch or so, like so. Now for the thorax, we're going to take the red squirrel back and we're going to use everything. We're going to put everything together. The short underfur and the guard hairs are going to go together on this. So I'm just picking off the short underfur and the guard hairs together. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my coffee grinder and put them in the coffee grinder. And here we have the mix, and the underfur helps hold the guard hairs together. I should have mixed a bunch more on this, but now I'm going to take my wax and I'm going to put a good amount of wax on my thread because that's going to help hold the guard hairs all together. And we're just going to take this and we're going to dub this on. And you could get this, you don't want to pile it up real heavy, but you want to make a long noodle. We make a long noodle, so we're going to pick it out when we're done. We're going to use our dubbing teaser to pick that out when we're done. So I'm going to see how this goes right here. I'm going to put a little bit more on there. Remember, the thoraxes are always larger than the abdomens on mayflies. I'm going to bring that up to the top. And I'm going to go ahead and tie the head off. I'm just pulling anything away from the eye. And you want the head to be just about the length of the eye. Go ahead and give this a whip finish. Going to poke and snip that off. Take a little bit of head cement. And now I'm going to use a small piece of Velcro here that I have on the other side of my poke and snip and just tease that out. You can tease that out right along the whole thing. Pull out any real long ones that you may have. And you can see in there, you can still see that little pearl, and that's going to show through when it's in the water, and it's going to look like a bubble. And here we have Dave Whitlock's red fox squirrel nymph. Although I didn't use a red fox squirrel, I just used a red squirrel. But hope that you learned something from this video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Please visit my sponsors. Let them know that I sent you. Leave comments, questions, suggestions. If you'd like to purchase any flies that I make, go to etsy.com/shop/theflymanjim. And if you don't see it, just give me a message and we'll figure it out. And most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.